Hey guys, today on Maschine Masters, we talk sync placements and what you can do to get your music on movies or TV series. Not only that, I bring in the big guns, the guys who actually make this happen, to answer some questions. Stay tuned, this is an episode you don't want to miss. Peace and blessings, guys. My name is SG1 from the Grammy Award winning team The Peacemakers and Music Millionaires TV. And we've teamed up with Maschine Masters to teach you guys the ins and outs of the music industry, music business tips, and the secrets of the music millionaires and industry elite. So if this sounds like something that you could be interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of these up and coming episodes that we're going to be putting out here on Maschine Masters. Now in this episode we talk sync placements, and for those who don't know what a sync placement is, it's basically when you take your production, either your music and a movie or your music and lyrics, and match it to a movie and or TV series, basically syncing them together to have a complete production. Now sync placements doesn't require you to be signed to a record label and or even have your own record company. Now sync placements are one of the many ways that a lot of musicians and producers make a ton of money and are able to take care of themselves and also get their music career off the floor. And it's not as hard as getting a recording deal. However, there are things that you need to know in order to increase the chances of you getting an actual sync placement. Now, to give you guys a better chance at actually getting sync placements, I did two things. I reached out to the guys who are the professionals when it comes to syncing music with their clients' movies or TV shows. I reached out to Music Gateway, and I contacted Lucas Elive, the head over sync placements for Music Gateway, and asked him some questions I thought you guys would like to know. So if you're ready, let's go to the interview. So Lucas, first and foremost, thank you for coming on the show. And I know you guys are in the UK right now, so we're in a different time frame. But I want to delve right in. I want to ask, basically, obviously quality plays a large part in production and also sync placements. However, what actually should producers be doing when it comes to the production quality of their music? And do you think collaboration is something that they should also look at to bring that track to the next level? What are your thoughts?
Well, with regards to production quality, a track has to be a finished product. So you need to be confident enough that you can release this track to the public and you're happy with the mix, you're happy with the master, overall it's done. And that's where it should be good enough to be submitted to music searches. Demos, not so much, except obviously the search is for demos, in which case go ahead and send those through. And this is where lo-fi as well comes into play. If a track is intentionally lo-fi, then that's perfectly good because it's for artistic reasons. But if you're trying to have a really sharp mix, go ahead and do that, finish everything, and then submit it. If we're talking about the quality of the song, then that's relatively subjective, but overall, put all your effort into that. If you need to get other people on board, other songwriters, other singers, etc., other artists, collaboration is always good to bring the track to that next level. And obviously through collaboration you can tap into the connections of the other person. You can potentially get on opportunities for sync, for other business opportunities through that. You can tap into their fan base. The opportunities are endless. I always talk about collaboration because I've seen the amount of stuff that's happened through Music Gateway, and it's been absolutely amazing to see how music has evolved through bringing another person on board.
I appreciate you really putting emphasis on the collaboration part because I tell a lot of producers the importance of collaborating and getting together and how it really changes the quality of their music. So I'm glad that you actually touched on that as well and talked about your experience with that. Now, Lucas, let's talk about research and how important research is when it comes to you submitting music for a particular sync placement. Can you touch on that a little bit? Now, I've talked about it some on my channel. However, now we're on Maschine Masters. We want to talk about that as well and the importance of researching your project and or potential client. How important really is research?
As you can imagine, people that put out briefs and are looking for music receive a large amount of submissions. So you need to find a way to stand out, and the best way to do that is to show that you've put effort and time and work into finding out more about their work, more about the kind of music they need, and basically show them that you are submitting something relevant and you're not wasting their time, essentially. I would say if you're submitting music to a music supervisor for a specific series, make sure you know what kind of music they place on that series. There's websites such as TuneFind, which is a great resource to find out tracks that have been placed in previous seasons. Make your research on release dates, etc, etc, etc. I know it takes a lot of time, obviously. You can do everything yourself, but that's where sync agents and people and music publishers come into play to help out artists and producers with that extra workload.
So now, Lucas, let's talk about submitting their music, how to submit their music the right way. You know what I mean? Because I think a lot of producers, they go into it, and when they get these contacts or they find out who a music supervisor is, you know, they immediately want to run to their email account and then send over music via their email account. So is there any advice that you would give to the proper way to submit music for sync placements? And then what are the don't do's when it comes to music submission, if you don't mind touching on that?
With track submissions and formats, the first and most important no-no that I want to say is don't attach files to an email, because people receive loads of submissions, as I mentioned earlier, and imagine if all of them have a WAV attached to them or two, that'll just clog up their emails and they'll block you. So what you want to do is provide a streamable way of listening to the tracks. Those tracks should be downloadable, ideally a 320 MP3. If they like a track, they might also request a WAV, so that should be to hand. If not included in that, we've actually made a solution where they've got access to downloading an MP3 version, but they can also download the WAV, which saves a lot of time, which is open to public actually. And also making sure that all the metadata is all sorted and correct on the MP3, because when they download the track, you want them to know where it came from and what it is.
You know, it's a running joke with me and you about the WAV. Here in America, we say WAV files for you guys who don't know what he's actually saying. So that's what he meant when he said WAV. It's actually a WAV file in American terminology, okay? You did mention something in answering that last question, and you mentioned metadata. And I like to touch on that as well, because I think a lot of times as producers, we look at the work as a whole, right? The final product. And then when submitting our music, we tend to forget about the metadata that you all or a company like yours need in order to basically put things in perspective for a potential client. So if you don't mind, would you talk about the metadata?
So to talk about the importance of metadata, let me go back a bit, go back to the process of what happens to a track if a music supervisor or a person that needs music likes a track on your submission. They will download it and it would go into their music library. That could be on iTunes, it could be in a folder somewhere, like that depends purely on the person dealing with it. Once they download your track, you want them to be able to find out the information they need in order to license it, because if the metadata is not done, this will be an unknown title by an unknown artist. Who do I contact for it? So what you want to have is 100% have name of the track, name of the artist, in the comment section add contact information, phone number, email, etc. So obviously there is other sections which are good to add because they will be searchable for specific needs later on potentially. But what you want to make sure is if someone listens to this track, wherever it is, whenever it is, they can look at the metadata and be like, oh right, I need to ring Lucas, here's his number, rings you up and says, I love this track, can we license it? So I can't stress enough how important metadata is in those situations.
Now, the metadata, that seems to be something that's very tedious and a task to do. Is there a way, or do your company provide a way that can shorten that process, or do you want to expound on that?
Obviously, like editing metadata and making sure that all of this is sorted can take a super long time, which is literally why we turned around to our techies and we were like, guys, this is taking me a long time, can we make sure that we add something like that to the file storage system? And literally what I do now is you can select all the tracks, update the fields as a bulk update, ready to send, saves loads of time. So Music Gateway has a system to help people with their metadata.
Now Lucas, let's talk licensing and how important licensing and copyrights are. I won't get into detail, I'll let you fill in the blanks, but let's jump right into licenses and copyrights.
When it comes to licensing and making sure that everything is cleared, it's important to be on the same level of what is copyright and how it works. We've got quite a few educational blogs on the platform that you can check out, but long story short, copyright is in a song is made out of, there's a recording copyright and there is a song and lyric copyright. Recording copyright usually managed by a record label, song and lyric copyright usually managed by a publisher. Where that comes into play is that you need to get permission from everyone involved in the ownership of those copyrights when licensing a song. So if you've got a few different songwriters and the producer who own different parts of the copyright, all of them need to say, yeah, I'm cool with that being synced. This is why it's important to make sure that those connections and those clearances are made quickly and easily. That's where the term easy clear comes into play, which is literally I can license this track as soon as possible. Another term that is used a lot is one stop, which literally means I'm the sole owner of the copyright, or I can represent and license the copyright on behalf of the rights holders. So literally it's a one-stop license. I say it's cool, then it's all cool. And obviously there is a lot of different little intricacies in the terms and the budgets and stuff like that, but obviously people like ourselves can help out with that.
Let's get to the nits and gritty about yourself and your company, because you have touched on here and there little things that your company does in the midst of sync placements. But if you could basically give us a idea, how can Music Gateway help producers? Because that's what we're trying to do here. Our whole goal, and even having you, is to have you and our goal, by even having you guys here, is to see how Music Gateway can help my producer friends. How they can help my producer family. These guys out here that has the talent, they're ready to eat. What can you guys do to help my beat making community and my family of musicians out there? That's the true test. What can you guys do to help?
Well, as a whole, essentially we help both sides. We help the clients finding the music, and we help the rights holders providing the music for the briefs. The way the Music Gateway can help you is we can provide you with the tools to do that yourself, and we can provide you with advice and the expertise of how to do that yourself. But as well, we can provide you with those briefs and the help you need in order to achieve that together. Obviously, you can pick up the phone to us and drop us an email if you require further advice and all that sort of stuff.
Now, let's get to the heart of this video, because the thing that I don't want this to be is just another how-to or DIY. So, I did take it upon myself, and me, you, Sophie, and Ned talked, the heads of Music Gateway, and I wanted to figure out what would you be able to offer my producer families to be able to help them get sync placements, you know, and how would you be willing to help them get sync placements? Is there something you have in place that allows them the ability to be able to test you guys out, show you what they're made of, and present some music possibly to you guys? You know, let me stop talking and let you talk. What is it that Music Gateway can do to help our subscribers achieve that goal of getting their first sync placement?
Well, firstly, I mean, there is going to be details below this video somewhere in the description, but essentially you can try out our premium memberships, and we also offer a discount for them. They basically give you more data storage. We also provide feedback on the submissions that we receive. So if your track was good and suitable, or if it wasn't quite what we're looking for, then we would give you that feedback and explain how you can improve and how you can hit those targets and briefs and make the best submissions as possible.
So now, you know, you made the offer, so the offer's out there, and they can find more information in the description below. I think we're going to be doing like a VIP exclusive offer. You guys have never made anyone else before, you know, and I appreciate, you know, you guys doing this for me. But before we get into submissions and everyone running to your website to submit music, I want to talk about taking things personal, because that's one of the aspects within my team that we have to deal with, which is not getting sync placements. When your music is not accepted for a project, people take it personally, and I don't think they should. However, can you delve into the personal aspect of the music, because you know that producers put their heart and soul into music, and when you know they're shot down or they're not accepted, you know that music isn't accepted, it could be heartbreaking. So can you give the producers out here and our subscribers and viewers a little insight to when their music is not used, how they should take that or not to take it personal?
The most important thing to remember is that when you're looking for music for a specific spot, you are not looking at it from do I like this track kind of perspective. You're looking at it from a perspective of how suitable is this song for the placement itself. So, I mean, I've had many occasions where I'd hear a track and I'd think, oh my god, this is insanely good, but it's not relevant. And equally, there would be a track that I wouldn't play on my Spotify day to day, but it would be the perfect track for a spot, therefore it would get put forward. So it's not really to do with the person's taste in music, it's more to do with how relevant the track is to the client's need. Therefore, it's not personal on any level, and it isn't to do with how good your music is.
Now, before we get out of here, Lucas, I'd like to say thank you and for everyone on your team that came together to make this interview possible. But before we go, is there anything that you'd like to say on behalf of Music Gateway before we end this particular interview?
SG, it's been an absolute pleasure to chat to you. Great to talk to your community, and hopefully it's been helpful, and I really hope that we can do this again sometime.
Hey guys, thank you again for tuning in. This has been very educational, not only for myself, but hopefully you. And if you like this particular video and you like the information that was involved, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and go over to my channel, Music Millionaires TV, and subscribe as well. But also make sure you go to the description below. We have tons of valuable things that you producers can take advantage of with Music Gateway that we've provided here at Maschine Masters and Music Millionaires and worked out on your behalf so that you guys can start making these placements happen, guys. We're not only a YouTube channel, we're trying to develop into much, much more for you guys to help you guys become successful in your music production career. So with that being said, music is life. We out.
Trying to act like a high roller on the ground like a